Everyone, welcome back to Outpost 138.
Woo!
I am Stefan JD, and here with me today is
Rob St. John.
As always. And,
As always.
We came back because our fans, our subscribers, we have so many, they made the blood sacrifice, they did the hexes, they cursed the people we wanted, so we decided...
Here we are, all 8 of our subscribers.
Exactly. But that's not bad for, one episode. Yeah, but we are back to talk about Friday the 13th, part 4, the final chapter.
A very beloved entry in the series by many, many people.
Yes, some people would say that this is their favorite Friday the 13th out of all of them.
Yeah, shout out to my buddy Josh, who is a big F-13 fan. This is his favorite in the whole series. So he was looking forward to this one.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, let's get started by saying that this features one of everyone's favorite Corey.
Corey Haim. No, wait. Corey Hart. Nope. Corey Taylor? Damn it. That's a Slipknot guy, right?
Yes.
No, it is Corey Feldman, who was a great child actor and kind of went off the deep end in his adult years.
Yeah, he apparently was sexually molested. What a great way to start this episode.
Yeah. That's awful. And if that happened to him, I'm really, really, really sorry.
Yeah. And apparently it happened to a lot of people named Corey in Hollywood around that time. And that sucks. And There's nothing we can do about it. That's neither here nor there. But yes, he did go off the deep end. He did a couple crazy things as he got older, and he dresses very eccentrically. But we're not here to discuss that. We are here to talk about...
That's beyond the scope of us.
Yes, we are here to talk about murder. And,
which we do know
teens.
about.
Yes, premarital sex, which we love. And drugs, which
drugs,
we may or may not have taken.
But we do, I want to say this, that with this entry, we're going to see a huge jump in the quality of the practical effects because Tom Savini comes back. Because this was supposed to be the last one, just like every entry is. They were going to kill Jason off. And Tom Savini was like, well, my special effects brought him to life. My special effects should probably kill him. So he came back to finish him off.
And what a miracle. We are all fortunate enough to have Tom Savini in our world.
Yes,
and
yes.
We should just bow to the master because he does not let us down one iota in this movie. I mean, even at the beginning of it, you're starting out in a hospital. The police have come and got Jason from part 3, who is still in the barn with a giant fire or woodsman axe in his head.
Yes.
And he's taken to the hospital, and the promiscuous nurse apparently has a relationship with one of the doctors. I don't know if he's a doctor.
I guess he's like a mortician or something, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
How does that work? Yeah. But he's sleazy as he can be. He's awful.
Oh, yeah. He's got like a necrophilia thing going on. Code Blue totally all the way. Because like even at the beginning there, I think it's one of the police officers like, oh, there's this girl that she's dead. She used to be so pretty. And he's like, used to be. She still looks pretty good.
Still pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, ew.
Yeah, that's it's pretty sick.
Yeah, I can deal with Jason murdering teenagers. Don't give me necrophilia, man. Come on.
Yeah, but it's those jokes that really make us proud when Jason knocks these
Yes.
people off the list.
Yes.
Yes, and of course, as to only make him more sleazy, he goes into one of the back rooms where Jason's body is, and behind him, and he's watching an aerobics video, which were very popular at this time.
They were. Yeah, they were.
You could even see them in movies like Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, other horror movies would even feature these things, all for the point of being sleazy. But people would be generally working out, and it would zoom in on women's asses to get views.
Absolutely.
It's basically like YouTube before YouTube.
Sex sells.
Yeah, except for now it's like a big-breasted woman playing bass or something.
Are you speaking from experience?
I literally just subscribed to some chick today because of that reason. I'm sorry to admit this. I'm not proud. Jason, please don't kill me. But no, it's pretty sleazy, and he's trying to get it on with one of the nurses who apparently has already given him a little sugar before. Mm-hmm. And Jason's hand falls over on top of them while they're getting it on.
And terrifies both of them.
As it should. But Jason does get up off the table and uses a, what's that kind of saw called? A bone saw?
Yeah.
Yeah. A bone saw in the guy's throat, and then goes after the nurse. And I actually think she gets it worse. Well, I think a bone saw to the throat, which I'm going to give, it's like a 3.5. I would rate it.
He does the bone saw, slashing the throat, and then he twists his neck all the way around.
Right.
It's like, I guess Savini wanted to go hardcore on the first kill of the movie, so it was a throat slash and a snap neck all at once.
I think Savini was reading the script and he's like, "Oh, well, fuck this guy."
But I give it, because it went that extra mile of the head twist, I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Nice, yeah, that's fair. I would say just 3 out of 5 only because I don't know, I think the bone saw is a cool killer weapon, but it's not as good as like a machete or a butcher's knife. Yeah, but I think the nurse gets it worse because he uses a scalpel on her chest and he goes just straight.
Yeah, I don't know. It's almost, for some reason, it reminded me of Michael Myers, and I don't know why.
Part 2, maybe. Yeah, I know he uses a scalpel on that.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, it's like, it's not bad, obviously, but it's kind of quick, and I mean, it sucks. She's definitely feeling it, but it's a 3 out of 5 for me.
3 out of 5?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 4 out of 5 for me. I just think that's a worse kill. I don't know. I just think like a little scalpel and the force it would take for it to like protrude your body and then go down basically your chest.
Yeah.
That would be more painful than a bone saw to the neck, in my opinion. Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, like the coroner guy or whatever, he barely felt what Jason did to him because it was pretty quick. That poor nurse felt the whole thing.
Oh yeah. She was pretty too.
Yeah, she was.
We should mention too that this is kind of like the beginning aesthetics for Jason's lore to continue through movie after movie after movie for showing the damage he sustains. So like in this movie particularly, where he got that axe through his mask in part 3, it keeps going on into this one.
Yeah, I love that continuity. There's a huge chunk of the mask missing where it just shattered from the axe, and of course, and he's still got that gaping wound.
Oh, it's so badass.
Yeah, it's great.
Michael Myers, eat your heart out.
Yeah, shit.
All you got was a couple of bullets from an old man. But but yeah, I mean, Jason, I mean, where is he going to go? Where else does he belong? He's going right back to Crystal Lake. And of course, as we said last time, as we will say in the future, there are some teens going to Crystal Lake in a car.
And it is the epitome of the late 70s, early 80s station wagon.
Yes.
That they are riding in. It's like, that is just a product of the time.
Yeah. I think the last movie I watched where a station wagon like that was very prominent was like Harry and the Hendersons or something. So old.
Yeah.
But the thing about this one too is that all the teens in it, one of them is actually an actor who went on to be pretty big, and the rest of them didn't. But all the teens, I would say, are actually pretty memorable in my opinion.
Yes.
And one of the most famous lines they say in the movie is, what's his name? I think it's Teddy. He calls what's his name, a dead fuck.
Yes. He calls him a dead. He calls Crispin a dead fuck.
Which is a great connotation for the fact that, you know, he's bad in bed, but also he's gonna die in the movie.
Actually, I never even thought of that, but you're right.
Yeah. Do you want to explain what happens when they're making their way to the residence here?
This is pretty great. They're going, you know, like you said, to the Camp Crystal Lake, or just to Crystal Lake, I should say, and they pass a female hippie hitchhiker, and she has a sign, and it says something similar to like "Love Canada or Bust." You know, I guess she wants to get to Canada, and the girls are like, "Hey, we should pick her up," and the guys are like, where are we going to put her? We've already got 6 people in this car. So they drive past her, and Teddy, being the jackass that he is, slanders her something out of the car. He says something, and she flips her sign around from saying "Love Canada or Bust," and it just says "Fuck you," and she shoots him the bird. And she sits down, you know, dejected and angry. She starts eating a banana, and Mr. Voorhees shows up and gives her a knife to the back of the neck, which is they don't cut away, they show it. It's pretty visceral, and she squeezes the banana out, and blood's everywhere, and it's pretty great. And like, I think she even like spits up the banana she had in her mouth.
Yeah, I think you're right. And if you like pause it and look really closely, apparently that's Tom Savini, which I don't know if we've clarified, but he is the special effects makeup artist. But yes, He does. He told the actress too when he was filming that scene, he's like, "Don't move when I grab you, just stay still," because he was holding a real knife when he went to pretend to stab her in the back. Yeah. Which I would trust Tom Savini if he did that. I'd be like, "Okay, Tom."
Yeah, I mean, he's a professional, and I would. He's a pretty trustworthy dude.
And you know, it's one of those things, Hollywood magic. But her throat does get a knife through it. It kind of reminds me of the girl in the hammock in Part 3.
Yeah, but way more shot better, and the effects are better.
100%. But these teens, when they're getting to their cabin, right next door is actually the Jarvis's residence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Tommy Jarvis, baby. His sister is there. Corey Feldman is playing Tommy Jarvis. And his mom is there. And he's actually playing on, I think, a Atari 2600.
Yes, he's playing Zaxxon.
Yeah. And like, they're trying to do video game language. Like, how many whatevers is that you've killed? And he's like, 24. And it's
like,
I bet every gamer was rolling their eyes.
I mean, they do. His sister does refer to it as Zaxxon.
That's true.
So I will give them that at least.
He is very much in the vein of his character, supposed to represent a young Tom Savini.
Yes.
And we get all that by the fact that he's like wearing this special, it almost looks like the Fly before the Fly, like a special effects makeup mask. And he's got other masks he's created in his room all by himself.
which
and
is
he's
amazing and every kid's dream.
yeah, and he's very much into horror. Uh, it's pretty neat. I will say that, granted, most of the people in these movies, they're just named Paul, Ted, George, Susie, whatever,
Right.
and they die. Adding that little bit of characteristics to him was pretty rad.
Yeah. And it really, because this would have been, this is the first time that a small child has been in danger from Jason.
That's true.
Because what would you say? He's like 8, 9 years old, something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, and this would be the first time that I because we never, Pamela didn't go after the kids at the camp. Jason never went after kids at camp, and now there's just this kid right in the middle of it.
And we'll get to it later, but even then, it doesn't really seem like he cares about him either.
No.
Yeah.
He's just like, whatever.
Yeah. But his sister becomes the final girl of the movie, and she's pretty good as a final girl.
Yes.
It does set up the fact that she's very clean, as a final girl should be. She doesn't like when the other teens get to the cabin, they decide to go to the lake and they go skinny dipping and they invite her, and she's like, no, I'm okay. And she's trying to cover her little brother's eyes.
Yeah, I mean, the final girl, especially back then, they were all wholesome, and the girl that you brought home to mama. So yeah, she had to be like that.
They couldn't drink, they couldn't do drugs, they couldn't have sex.
Mm-hmm. They were always wearing. Usually they were wearing sweaters for some reason. It was always the bright pink 80s sweaters.
Yes. And aside from part 3, and I can't remember past part 7, but they always had to be blonde too.
Oh,
I know in 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7, they're all blonde. Yeah.
Jason has a type, apparently.
Apparently. Apparently blondes aren't as dumb as people are led to believe.
Yeah, because they're the only ones that survive.
Along the way, these teens, when they're getting towards their cabin, they actually have to pull off the road and walk there, which is so just weird. And they run into these two babes, who Teddy and Crispin Glover's character, I forget his name.
Crispin Glover is Jimmy.
Jimmy and Teddy.
Yeah, because he keeps calling him Jimbo.
Are we sure it's not Bimmy and Jimmy?
Oh my God, that's a deep cut. There's a deep
cut. But Teddy and Jimmy, they basically are instantly infatuated with them. The twins themselves, when asked about their clothing in the movie, they said that they actually hated it because it's terrible baggy 80s
it is
activewear.
Yes.
And but they decide to all hang out and go back to the cabin and drink and smoke pot.
But we do have to mention that on the way to the cabin, they pull over because they get lost. And when you know it, they pull over right next to a very small graveyard that has Pamela Voorhees' tombstone.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, which is, I'm like, that's kind of weird that anybody would place a marker for Pamela Voorhees.
Also, if you look closely at it, it's literally 5 feet off the highway.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. As we would find out later in the Friday the 13th video games, there's actually a real graveyard that it's in, but
yes.
in this one, it's not.
It's just some weird look like cardboard thing stuck in the ground.
Basically, it's like an Army of Darkness grave or something.
Exactly.
But yeah, they get to the cabin. They decide to go skinny dipping. All the girls in this movie are really pretty. I would say, except for the twins. But sorry, you're not my type.
We got a hot take. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. they're prettier outside of this movie, even as they
No,
get
no
older in
love for the Doublemint twins, I see.
Crystal Lake Memories. Yeah, that's right. They were the Doublemint twins, weren't they?
Maybe. I've heard they were. I never really looked it up.
Yeah, I think they were. I think that's what they were known for.
But yeah, no. Every woman in this movie, every girl is pretty. Even Tommy's mom is pretty.
Oh my God, Tommy's mom is. Oh.
Oh! All right. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, sorry.
We're learning a lot about you on this episode.
Apparently. But I will say though that this movie, like, even though it does every single thing, almost the same things as part 3, for some reason the writing, like the characters, everything leading up to the eventual night of kills, like I love all of these characters.
Well, you do. I mean, one thing that this doesn't have that part 3 had was the racism undertones.
That's true.
So, you didn't have that hanging around and, kind of just making it awkward. And I think for a while at least, you don't have the Paul character. Just the generic, boring white dude character yet.
Yeah.
Because of the 3 guys that are in this group of kids, you had the jokester guy in the denim jacket. You have the awkward nerd with his full button-up shirt that he's wearing to the lake for some reason. And you have the cool guy with his feathered hair and everything. And they kind of have personalities. They're just not, hi, I'm generic, my dad's a lawyer, white guy.
Right.
And I think that's one thing because, like you said, these have more personality. Even with the third one, the stoner couple, that was it. They were stoners. That's it. There was we didn't really get to know them because they were like, all right, these people are stoners and they're going to smoke pot and that'll be it.
They were pretty generic.
Yeah, but people here, especially when you'll get to it as you talk about, when you get to the party scene, we actually do learn quite a bit about each character.
Yes.
Just by observing them in that element. I recently rewatched it, and my roommate, she hadn't seen it. And this isn't her type of movie and everything, but she was just in here, so she watched it too. And she was actually like, wow, these people, they're not as generic as I thought they'd be. I'm like, see?
Well, like the dynamics going on are kind of one, but they're relatable in the way that, like, there's a Samantha who's played by Judy Aronson, who's really, she's gorgeous. And she reveals that she's been sleeping with him because she really cares about him. And she's telling, the other girl in the movie, I forget her name, but she's telling her, like, it's not a big deal, like, just do it. Like, sex isn't a big deal. And then later on, when the twins get involved at the party, he kind of seems interested in one of them, and she feels dejected and goes to the lake, which I think that's something we could all relate to.
I can definitely relate to being dejected like that and, having to go off on my own. I can't relate to going skinny dipping at night in the middle of a lake. No, I cannot relate to that.
I've definitely done that in Arizona, where I live. There's this place called Lake Pleasant, and for a long time, actually, they just took it out, sadly, because I was going to go there. There was a Jason Voorhees at the bottom of the lake.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, but that's a little crazy, and apparently behind the scenes, Judy Aronson, she was getting hypothermia from doing that because it was like winter when she went out skinny dipping in the lake.
Yeah, that's something I was hoping that we were going to bring up is that Ted White, the guy who plays Jason in this one, at first he wanted nothing to do with this. He's uncredited. He thought the movie was going to be garbage, but he still took the role very seriously in that he didn't interact with most of the cast because, he wanted to be this big, frightening guy. But like you said, she was getting ready to suffer from hypothermia. She was freezing, and she was like, "Please let me warm up." And Joseph Zito, the director, was like, "No," and Ted White was like, "You're gonna let her come in and warm up, or I'll walk off, and you won't have Jason."
Yeah, and that's a real man.
Yeah, that's a real. And later when we'll get to another kill, he was extra careful with the kill because the actor in the last movie the actor did before this one was injured in a stunt and actually had to have surgery to repair the injury. So Ted White went out of his way to make sure the actor was comfortable and safe.
Yep. And Ted White is, for anyone who doesn't know, he's like before this movie, he was literally the guy who was John Wayne falling off the horse. He was like the stunt man who would do all that shit
he was
in
the
cowboy movies.
Man.
Yeah. Consummate professional, probably didn't even get paid a lot for this movie. But as you said, took it really serious. Didn't even sit with the cast. He would sit off by himself. Nobody got to know him at all.
He's still alive. He is 95 years old, and he still goes to conventions.
Yep. And he recently, I think he did his last Jason signing. I sent a link to Rob. I was like, dude, give me money. Let's see this.
I remember that. That's awesome. And like, obviously years afterwards, he took pride in, playing Jason and the joy that it brought fans and everything. But at first he wanted nothing to do with it. It's just, he was hired, he was going to do his job professionally, and he was going to be out of it. That was it. Then I guess the rabid fandom just drew him back in, like, hey, that was awesome. Thank you for that. I'm really glad that Ted White now takes pride in what he has done for the franchise, and that he's no longer ashamed that he was Jason Voorhees.
And even it kind of would have changed the face of the franchise too, because they offered him to play Jason in Part 5 and he turned it down, which is why Part 5 is its own different thing, which we'll get to obviously next episode.
Right. So he's a great guy, and I hope he's continues living happy and healthy, even though he's 95.
Yeah, I'm sure he could still kill some teens at that spry age.
We should all be so lucky to live that long to murder teenagers.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I'm 34. I just got out of work today, and I felt like fucking death became me. But yeah, basically, the teens have a party, and next door, the Jarvises are trying to ignore them.
Yes.
And Tommy Jarvis is in his room. He's going to sleep, but then he realizes that Samantha is across, one of those things we always imagined as a kid, looking out our window and seeing a girl getting topless.
Yeah, but never happened to me. I can tell you that right now.
It did happen to me.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, but his mom comes in right as he's about to see something, and then her boyfriend, I think his name's Doug or something, kind of stops her, flips her around or whatever.
Yeah.
And he pretends to be asleep, which, kids today, I just don't see that happening. But back then, I feel like that was a prominent thing, pretending to go to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I did it all the time.
Like, you'd turn off the TV, but it was a CRTV, so your dad would be like, hey, I can still see that was just turned off.
Yeah, right. You're like, shit.
Yeah. The gaggle of teens, they're partying. And as we said before, Samantha feels like she's dejected and goes to the lake, and she's calling after her boyfriend, who she thinks is following her, but it's not her boyfriend.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And as we all know, Jason hates water. Because...
Oh my God, we'll get to that too.
And he stabs her through the boat that she swims out to, the raft that's just there for some reason.
The just an inflatable raft, and he comes up from below.
Yep. And this was the scene, as we've stated before, where Ted White was ready to walk off the set had they not helped her out.
Yeah, which is great.
Which was great. And then her boyfriend does the right thing and says, look, I can't do this. I'm sorry. And he walks out after her, and Um, gets out into the lake, finds her dead corpse, just like horror movie cliche.
Right.
And as he's going back, and even when I saw this kill the first time I watched this movie, this was the moment that I realized the cinematography, everything was a step up from the first three movies, because he gets a
Here we go.
spear
Yeah.
right in the fucking dick.
Yes.
Rob, how would you rate this kill?
This is my favorite kill of the movie. This is 5 out of 5. And I mean, like you said, with the cinematography, it shows it. Jason rams that spear right in his junk. And that, from all the kills that we've had from Jason and his mom so far, that has to be the most painful for me. Because think about it. He died freezing and bleeding from his dick and probably went into shock.
Honestly, I wish I could have been there in the theater when this premiered and just been looking at all the guys in the audience to see if they squirmed a little.
Oh, because I mean, like I said, it's not like an off-camera thing. I mean, it's like, here's the groin and here's the spear.
Yeah, it's weird because it shows that, first off, Jason stabs him there, and then as he's raising him into the air and he's screaming, then it shows him pull the trigger on the spear to actually shoot it right into him.
Because it's actually he loves the spear gun. Jason does. He's got him, like you said, he's midair, impaled on the spear in his junk, and Jason decides to pull the trigger. It's like, why?
Yeah,
I don't know how many people that had to go through to get the okay. Like, hey, let's do this. But I'm really glad they all said okay.
Yes, and I would also rate this a 5 out of 5. Hell,
yes.
I'd give it a 6 out of 5 if that was on the board.
Amazing.
And it looks painful. And this is where Jason finally, is like, all right, I chilled out for a while. I went swimming. I took a couple laps. I killed 2 of them. Now it's time to go to the house and actually check it out. But on his way, a little subplot we haven't mentioned so far is that there is a generic white guy.
He shows up.
Kind of, yes. Because the Jarvises did break it down in their car earlier. He helped it get it started in some weird 1980s magical way with a screwdriver.
No, and he uses his boot knife as a screwdriver. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think Tommy says he needs a screwdriver,
yes,
and then
yes.
and then he uses the knife, and he basically uses the current, raping his knife against the battery cords to create
something
a current,
like that.
Like jumpstart it. Our final girl, Trish, she kind of thinks it's hot, whatever, and offers to give him a ride. He's literally there because he's hunting Jason.
Yes.
Which I forget the backstory. Why?
Because his sister was a victim.
That's right.
And he's there for revenge. And this is like this would be the first time a character is in the movie specifically to go after Jason.
Yeah. And I'm sure when he was going through town and he saw these signs that said the final chapter, he sped up. He's like, I gotta get there.
Oh shit.
Oh fuck, I'm gonna be late. But he has a gun. He's got a giant machete. He looks like a woodsman. He's wearing his flannel gear. He's all ready to do this. And he sets up camp outside of town, or outside of the Jarvis residence and where they're at, located on the lake. So when Jason's heading back to the house, he runs into his little camp. And the guy kind of walked off thinking he saw Jason.
Yeah.
And Jason breaks his gun, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah,
his rifle.
which is very intelligent for Jason.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he doesn't even try to kill the guy. He just goes in and breaks his rifle and leaves.
And it's very like pre-zombie Jason, so that would feel very in touch with the lore. Would you say?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a working brain to a degree.
And when he tries to come back, that's when Triss, hey, I'm gonna go see what that guy's up to, that hot guy, and she's like, "What are you trying to do? Kill me?"
Yeah, because he takes a swing at her. Because he's like, "What are you doing
with his
here?"
He's like, "God damn it!"
Yep.
So, oh man, his death is so cool later, but
we'll get to it.
You'll get to that. But yeah, Jason literally, as a slasher stalker should do, he goes to the house and he's watching the teens party. Jimmy on with one of the twins, and Teddy tries to get on, who just isn't having it.
Yeah, she ain't having it, but the one twin is definitely having it with Crispin. So
yeah, one of them was all for it, one of them wasn't, which is great because it kind of does show a separation of their personalities.
Yeah, they're not the same character, even though they look exactly the same.
Right. And when one of the teens the twin teen tries to leave, she gets impaled by Jason and gets thrown against the outside wall of the house, which is one of my favorite kills. I want to say like a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, he just spears her and she's just stuck, man. She's just pinned, and it kind of almost comes out of nowhere because you don't really, they don't show him or anything. It's just all of a sudden speared.
They show the silhouette because it's raining outside and there's lightning. So when the lightning goes off, it shows his shadow use a spear to impale her, and then seconds later it shows him throwing her against the wall.
Which is, again, overkill. He did not need to pin her and throw her against the wall. But 4 out of 5.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know in the order the next couple ones take place. I think it's Teddy next, who is
no, next will be
the other twin.
No, I think it's the other twin, because they finish boinking her and Crispin.
And this is probably one of the best stunt effects in the movie, and they didn't even plan on the windows breaking, but
it's great.
They gave direction to the girl, the stunt woman who's playing the other twin at the window, and she's looking outside, and Jason breaks through. He's on the second story. He breaks through and throws her out the window on top of the station wagon. And when she lands on it, all the windows break open, and apparently she's dead from that.
Yeah, it's a great shot looking down, of her body, falling down. And as soon as it hits that roof of that, every window in the windshield and the back window all just explode.
And I would even say the pre-shot before that of just Jason with his arms outstretched after flinging her out and her body in midair. That's a badass shot.
Yeah, I mean, of course, how did fucking 6'5" Jason get out there so nimbly and so quickly, and who cares? Because it's awesome.
and if we haven't, I mean, we already mentioned that Ted White is 95 now, but even then he was like 50 something years old.
Yeah, because this was 84. So that was 37 years ago. So yeah, he was like 50. He was mid to late 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And he's throwing teenagers from the second story.
Yeah. Some dude climbing up to a second story of a house and throwing people out. I don't know. It's just good work all around.
It's good work if you can get it.
Yeah. Horror movies shot cheaply, make a lot of money.
Yeah, that was the whole gimmick of this. For the whole slasher franchise, at least, the whole genre, I should say.
Yeah, hell yeah. Before like Resident Evil and all the stuff.
Yeah, then those came. Well, like I said, we'll get to those, unfortunately.
Yes. remind me, Rob, is it Sarah and her boyfriend in the shower that's next, or is it Teddy?
It is. Hold on.
I think it's Teddy because Sarah runs downstairs.
Yeah, no. Next is going to be
Crispin.
Crispin with the fantastic kill. But I gotta mention this. We kind of skipped over. I gotta mention this from my boy Josh, who got the shout out. He loves Crispin Glover's dance in this movie when he turns on that record and he asks one of the twins to dance, and he just, dude, there's white people dancing, and then there's this. I can't dance, obviously, but I can do better than this. But Josh, that's for you, dude. I know how much you love Crispin's quote unquote moves, so there you go.
Like, I think about people, like, I've seen people on the dance floor, like, rolling dice. You know how they, like, do a dice move?
Yeah.
Or they'll look like they're putting their pants on and trying to shimmy or something. There's even the bat dance all the way from the Adam West period.
The bat Tusi.
What Crispin Glover is doing in this movie, I have no fucking idea.
I don't know, but I mean, it's amazing.
Like, what's the move? I don't.
Because he's like horse kicking and shit. He's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
And it's the weirdest, like, 80s song. I don't even know what it is. I didn't even look it up beforehand, but it's just the weirdest song to be doing that too.
Yeah, it's because even the twin says it. You want to dance to this? The music that he puts on is not dancing music. Like, even if you can dance, you don't dance to that. Yeah. Oh, apparently it is "Love Is a Lie" by Lion.
Oh, really, Lion?
Lion. but that's the song features "Love Is a Lie" by Lion, but is not on the soundtrack. So there you go. There's your trivia.
They were like, no, fuck that. After that scene, fuck that.
You had that idiot do that to our song, you motherfucker.
Well, when he danced later on the late night show, that didn't work out either. So.
But now, like I said, that was back in the party. But now we're at Crispin's death, which is great.
Yes. And I want to say I would give this a 5 out of 5.
Yes.
The most memorable line maybe of this movie is, Ted, where's the corkscrew?
Ted. And then here's giant ass Ted White out of nowhere like a damn ninja, just bam, the corkscrew right through Crispin's hand and pins him to the countertop.
Yeah, the cutting board.
Yes. A very good shot. You can definitely tell Savini worked on this because he gets it's a meat cleaver, right? Is that what you would call that?
100%, right through the side, like diagonally through the face.
Yes, and I mean it's just bam. He just hit, and like I said, it's shot. You see it. There's no cutting away, or you just see the shadow or something like that. It's great. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. The thing is that Jason would do a lot of double kills in the future, and even like he's already done them in previous movies, but man, this takes the cake.
Yep, Ted. He went from shouting Ted to getting a meat cleaver in the face. So
yeah, well, he didn't block the door, and then Jason hit 2 on his keyboard and teleported in there.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, and then just hit 2 again to appear right behind Ted, and that's how that happens.
Okay.
I mean, where else was he hiding? Behind the refrigerator?
I mean, hey, if the movies and the newest game have proved anything to us, is Jason is just a stealthy motherfucker.
Yes, he really is, and he can teleport
and move like the Evil Dead camera.
Hell yeah, 100%. Oh man,
yeah, that's the end of our boy Crispin.
See, that's what they would need to do if they ever made a Freddy versus Jason versus Ash movie. Is Ash is running away, but instead of the camera chasing him, it's just Jason. Like he's just looking back and falling over things.
That'd be amazing. It'll never happen because Ash, Bruce Campbell said he's too old to play Ash now.
Yep. Apparently, it was painful to do it in the show.
Which
Sadly.
sucks, but I understand.
Mm-hmm. They waited too long, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, we'll get to that too.
We promise. Yeah, 5 out of 5 for that. And then Teddy is smoking pot, watching vintage black and white porn for some reason on
It's
a
like he found an old Stag film. It's like, what the hell is this?
yeah, Stag, like a total film roll. And I think he even said, the actor himself, like, people were confused by the kill in the cinema. I don't know how they were confused. Like, he goes up to the projection board and Jason knifes him through it. And then as he falls, the knife cuts down through the back of or slices through the projection board.
Yeah,
I wasn't
and there's
confused.
blood on it. It's like, so it's obvious what's happening. I don't know why people got confused.
Yeah, it's so weird. But apparently the actor who played Ted, which was Lawrence Manison, he wanted to be a consummate actor, and he got high before the scene. He's really high when this happens.
Method actor.
Yeah, method actor. And apparently he had a really hard time understanding the director.
Surprise.
when they were filming the scene, and you know what? Hats off to him, because he still pulled it off. It still looks genuine. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I love it. And then and for that kill, I would say like a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, it's certainly not bad. I mean, it's not breaking any new ground, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I feel like I should give it a 4 because he was high, but I'm gonna base it just on the kill.
Just on the kill, okay.
But Jason does head upstairs for Sarah and her boyfriend. I forget his name. Do you remember? Is it Doug or something?
Yeah, I believe that is Doug. Wait, or is Doug the one that went swimming and got the...
Doug, Paul.
God damn it.
God damn it.
We'll just call him Paul.
God damn it. Basically...
Yeah, we would just call him Paul.
Yeah, basically, she decided to lose her virginity in the shower of all places.
In the cleanest place to do it, I guess.
I guess so. And one of the kills here that happens is that Doug or Paul or whatever his name is, when Jason comes into the room because he thinks it's Sarah who went to go get him a beer or something.
Yeah, he's like, you want to come in and sing a duet with me, because he's singing in the shower.
And she's like, I think I'm in love. And Jason comes in and basically crushes through the shower's mold and smashes his face against the fucking wall, like literally with his hands.
Yeah, just smashes it, and it's great. And that was the one that Ted White wanted to make sure the actor was safe, because he had been injured in the movie before.
Right.
So you don't see it with the camera, the way that the camera's set up, but his head is actually against a cushion. So Ted was pushing, but the dude, he was against like a pillow or whatever.
Yeah, there was a 2 cut. So like when you first see the hand go in and hit his face against the wall, that's the actor. And then they cut it to where it's the mold of his face that he actually crushes. And that apparently the director was like, hey, we only have one of these, Ted, so be careful with it. And then Tom Savini was like, yeah, go ahead and crush that shit, bro.
Crush it, dude. That's what it's there for. That's what the scene is about.
I got your back. Yeah. So he literally like breaks it into mashed potatoes, and the dude's eyes pop out. It's a great kill. I would say like 3 out of 5 again. Not that it's bad, but it's a good kill.
Yeah, it's a good kill. Same, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, 3 out of 5. And then Sarah comes and finds him, and she's like, "Oh no, I gotta run now." And she runs downstairs, and I'm gonna give this kill a 4 out of 5 because she tries to. And this is the weird thing about Jason, is that he was in the house, he killed Doug, whatever his name is.
Doug, Paul.
And she goes and messes with the front door leading down the stairs in her towel of all things.
Hey, so
And yeah, and for some reason, Jason's now outside because, as far as I can remember, he's throwing an axe through the door that hits her in the chest.
yeah, he throws the wood cutting axe. It smashes
Yes.
through the door and lodges in her chest, right in her sternum. And it happens quick, man. I mean, I guess they really couldn't, you know, show the axe going through the door or something because
Well, it pops.
yeah, it pops and then like all of a sudden, bam, it's just in her and she hits the ground dead.
It's cool how she falls back though. She did a good job of
She
that.
did, yeah.
Yeah, like she just
Yeah.
and then
Like,
falls down.
though it like she was having trouble with the lock on the door or something. I'm not sure. Like, how do
I
you?
think he locked it.
Yeah, but what? He locked it from the outside? What? I don't.
Well, I mean, he like locked it and closed it. You know what I mean?
Maybe, but I mean,
It the
I don't know. Well,
whole
she
the
was
whole thing
panicking.
is yeah, the whole thing is unclear. Like I said, he was upstairs and then he went outside and knew she would run down, and it's a weird setup, but
Yes.
the way it's done, it's so fast that you don't have time to think about it because she just gets it, she eats it and dies, and then we cut to Trish and the other dude coming in to find all the bodies.
Yeah. And this
Because
is
all the teens,
after we don't see it, but Jason kills Mrs. Jarvis off screen.
right?
We don't
She
even see a body.
and
So.
apparently there was like a deleted scene where she's in the bathtub
Oh,
full of
really?
blood. Yeah, and Trish comes in and finds her, but they cut it because in the continuity of where Trish is and where she goes, it didn't make sense or something.
Okay. I mean, because she is, like outside looking for her kids because the kids aren't back yet. She's out there in the storm. And we see her go like get shocked by something off camera, and that's it. We don't see
Like
anything. Nothing.
like they put a ball above the camera and they said, "Look at this when you're about
Yeah.
to scream," and then they cut it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that was it. And like I said, we don't even find a body.
Yep. 100%. Kind of like part 2 where people just disappear from.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, now I mean we're just stuck with Tommy, Trish, and Forrest guy.
I think his name is Rob.
Rob.
Yeah, because his sister was a victim in part 2.
That's right.
And like I said, that's why he's there. He's hunting Jason, gonna get his
Rob.
revenge.
His name is Rob St. John.
Rob Dyer. Dyer?
Rob Dyer St. John.
No, okay.
Just kidding.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, his death is cool because they go to the house to check on the teens. They leave Tommy alone, which is that's how it used to be back then, kids. You just get left home alone like that.
There's a killer loose. So.
Yeah, when there's a killer loose. Yeah, things. And they basically realize that everyone's dead, and I can't remember why. Why did they go to the basement?
I think they're just looking around to see if they can find survivors or anything. It's not really, they're just searching the house that the teens were renting. So, they're just searching, seeing if they could find anyone, I think. And, and he's down there looking, and she comes halfway down the steps to the basement. She's like, oh my God, he's killed everyone. And he goes to go back up, and he drops the knife back all the way on the basement floor. He's like, oh, let me go get the knife. And then I'll let you take it.
There's a lot of controversy around this kill. One, because it's really dark when it happens.
Yeah, it's not lit very well at all.
Yeah, which I'm actually fine with completely.
Yeah.
Because it makes it scary. And then 2, the way it's written in the script, it does sound like just scary. Just the idea of it, the idea of the way it's written.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it's acted,
Oopsie daisy.
It's still not bad. Jason is basically down there hiding in the dark, and he starts stabbing him Rob.
Yes.
And Rob screams out, "He's killing me!
He's killing me!" And where that comes from was Joseph Zito, the director, that he read in the New York newspaper that someone was stabbed repeatedly in New York, of course, New York in the 80s. And witnesses could hear the person being stabbed shouting, "Please stop hurting me. Please stop killing me." And that's where he got it from. And he thought this, along with, the way he could direct the actor playing Rob, was they wanted to transform Jason from this guy that, the audience is rooting for to kill these teens into this monster. Here's this guy who wants revenge for his sister that Jason has already killed like 2 days ago. If we do it the timeline right, it's like 2 or 3 days ago. This is, you kind of think he's going to be the hero. Maybe it'll be a final guy this time, not final girl. And no, Jason just murders him. Just straight up murders him. And that's what they were trying to go with. Oh my God, he's killing me. Run. Oh my God, he's killing me. But it just comes off goofy.
And the thing is that when and I'm glad you explained it that way, but I want to say that when I first saw it, I was literally of two minds about it. Like, part of me was like, man, this is goofy, but also like, man, that would be a terrifying thing to see in the dark. Like, because you can kind of see it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Jason is stabbing him, but you're not. I mean, it's not very detailed because it's low light.
Right, but you can tell it's like repeatedly in the chest. He's just like just getting him good, and Rob, who I believe is carrying a machete for whatever reason, is just like succumbing to the fear, and he's like, "Run!" He's killing me.
Yeah, he's killing. Oh my God, he's killing me, and he yells for her to run. It's like, it was supposed to, like I said, portray Jason as this psychopath that, and I don't know how they were going to do that. I mean, he's already murdered a bunch of teens. Like, he was up to like 30 kills by that point.
Yeah. Holds the record, doesn't he, for slasher with most kills?
Yeah, especially if you count him being the cause of that space station blowing up in Jason X. He's got like thousands upon thousands of kills.
That's true. I know they're trying to up them with the new Chucky show, but it's not gonna happen, bro.
Unless he blows up a space station.
Yeah, fucking space. But anyway, we'll get to that bullshit later.
That amazing stuff.
Oh gosh. Anyway, I digress. Yeah. So this kill, I want to say, is the most interesting kill of the movie. I'm two minds about it. I want to say like a 4 out of 5, just on the basis of how people reacted to it.
Yeah, if I was looking at it from her point of view, she's seen this kind of, and oh my God, he's killing me. Yeah, it's like a 4, out of 5. But if, me sitting here on my couch, and this guy just saying, he's killing me, oh my God, it's like the hilarity instead of the fright, instead of it being terrifying and making it a 4 out of 5, the hilarity makes it a 4 out of 5. So either way,
I'm glad
great.
You feel that way.
Either way, it works.
I was about to give you shit, Rob, for your 5 out of 5 for Paul's eye coming out of his socket in part 3.
Shut up. That is amazing, and you know it is. The fucking wire that's pulling the eyeball is more visible than the goddamn eyeball.
That's true. I think I gave it like a 2 out of 5. But
yeah, you
anyway.
did, you asshole.
Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Our final girl is in her final act, and she is going on a run to save her brother, Tommy. And this is where Corey Feldman said that he actually had a scare in the movie filming it, because she tries to lock all the doors and everything, all the things you would do. But of course, Jason breaks in through the window and tries to grab Tommy. and she hits him with the dick end, the nail, the end that you would use to pull out nails.
It's called the claw, dude. It's
the claw. I've used a hammer like 5 times my whole life.
She's wailing on him with it regularly. It's not working, so she jabs the claw into the back of his neck, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
And he reacts to it. And of course, again, Ted White was not around any of these actors, so they've never met him.
Right.
And yeah, so this is where apparently Corey got a scare, and he was legitimately afraid of what happened. But yeah, he tries to grab him. She uses that, and then they run upstairs. Jason breaks in through the door, which is one of the most badass scenes ever of the movie.
Dude, it's like that door wasn't even there.
Yeah, he just walked in.
Yeah, that's amazing. And of course, like we said, when he breaks the window, he does it by throwing Rob's body through the window.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, you could have just smashed her, but sure, just throw the corpse of the guy, whatever, that's fine.
Well, I think he throws Rob through one of the windows and then grabs Corey through another, doesn't he?
He may have. I just remembered the body flying through.
It's a very cliche thing in the series, actually. A lot of bodies fly through windows, even in the first movie with Pamela. But
yeah, him smashing through that door. I mean, he just walked through it.
It's pretty cool.
It's amazing.
And then he throws the hammer back at her, which hits the wall next to her face.
Yeah.
But he chases them upstairs, and they try to block off Tommy's room with furniture and everything. Jason's trying to break through, and then I believe she smashes the TV over his head.
Close. It is an old ass computer monitor.
Computer monitor.
Yes.
And I've always thought it was a TV. That's because you clarified that for me.
Yeah.
And we have that moment which would even become a cliche all the way leading up to, I think, like Scream 3 or something like that, where the survivors have to climb over the antagonist's body while they're apparently unconscious.
Yes.
Quote unquote unconscious. And this is the moment where we realize that Jason just doesn't really care about killing kids, because he has a choice when he wakes up trying to grab Trish. Should he go after Tommy, who's just in the room? I mean, he could go in there and kill him.
Yeah,
or should he go after Trish?
Tommy's like right there. Like he could have just.
Yeah, like at his feet.
Yep.
But he goes after Trish because why would he kill Tommy? And then they go on their last jaunt through the Jarvis house and the other house, and then back to the Jarvis house. Do you want to explain it, Rob?
She gets him to chase her, and she doesn't go back downstairs. She's on the second story. Jason's after her, ignoring Tommy. She jumps through a second story window and just pancakes on her back, like pratfalls onto the muddy ground. And Jason, being the smart guy that he is, knows that she isn't dead. And even though he could have walked right back in that bedroom and got Tommy, he went downstairs to go get her. She gets, but she's up and she's running. And I don't remember how far they get distance-wise from it, but they do end up back at the Jarvis house, right?
Yeah, because they go through the teen house that's next door, because I know that at some point she runs by Jimmy's body, who Jason apparently has hung over the doorway with actual like horse nails, like nails.
And she's like, oh shit, because he's like blocking the back door. She can't.
Yeah.
His corpse is blocking it, so she smashes and gets out.
And I shouldn't say they're nails; they're stakes. Sorry.
Yeah. But she gets out. She gets back to the Jarvis residence. Jason in tow. He just knocks Crispin Glover's body out the way.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
the stakes like plow through his hands, his flesh.
And he goes, and then we get to. She has the machete, and Jason is trying, and it's actually a pretty cool shot because he's trying to grab her, and she swings, and he's actually fainting, like juking, like he's trying to trick her, and which hand am I going to use to grab you?
A dodge, yeah.
Yeah. And he reaches out, man, and this looks painful as hell. He reaches out, and she brings the machete down, and it catches him between his middle and ring finger. And it goes probably about halfway through his hand, slicing down. And she takes it, and he looks at it like, oh, shit. But it doesn't stop him, obviously.
Yeah, which spoilers, Tom Savini was just holding like half the hand out for her to hit.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Obviously, it's not a real hand.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks painful because the effect looks great. It just carves right through it. And he chases him, or excuse me, he chases her back to the main room. Do you want to end this with how Corey Feldman saves the day?
Yeah, there was this apparently, as we've stated in the first movie, with Pamela taking Jason to a secluded place to work and get, a net income, she would only have to deal with a certain amount of people. Of course, in the newspaper, somehow, when Jason drowns, they do a sketch of him, the local artist, and Tommy has seen this sketch in that newspaper clipping. So he goes upstairs and tries to play, as a little kid, psychology tag with Jason. And he literally cuts his hair, puts makeup on, as we've stated, because he creates things like this.
Yeah, he's like a special effects wizard.
Yeah, he's a great wizard for it. So he's built up to this in the movie. And he basically looks like aside from the mongoloid features, like a youthful Jason.
Yes.
So while Trish and Jason are going at it, she's trying to fight him off, and Jason's having a hard time killing her because he's now missing basically a hand.
Which is great.
Tommy comes down and he yells, and he's like, "Do you remember, Jason? Do you remember?" And Jason has to pause because he's remembering when he was a little boy and he was drowning, and he's looking at Tommy and he's seeing himself.
Yeah.
And through this psychology fight, Trish, I believe it's Tommy that gets to use the machete to throw it into the side of his face, or is it Trish?
Well, she takes a swing. It clips his mask off. It clips the hockey mask off. And
that's right.
You see him in his gory glory because he's still got that axe wound.
Right, and he's smiling.
Yeah, he's as best as he can. He's smiling, and he's awful. And she drops the machete out of just like disgust, like, oh shit, and nasty. And she's slowly backing away. He's slowly walking towards her. And then Tommy picks up the machete, and man, he swings that thing, and Jason turns around just at the wrong time, I guess you want to say. He catches the machete like halfway through the side of his head. I mean, it's like in his eyeball.
Right.
And he falls down. And like I said, they don't cut away. This is all Savini's magic. He falls down face first, and the handle of the machete hits the floor, and it's pushing it further up through his face. Is amazing. And because we can say this, Jason's dead.
Technically, yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he is dead. So that kill gets a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Corey Feldman even said that on that day when he had to do that, not only when they cast him, they were like, oh, maybe he's too small to do this scene. And he's like, hey, give me a machine. But on that day that he was actually apparently like super sick. And he was just like swinging that shit like, please let this end.
Yeah. I mean, it looks great.
The idea that the MPAA, the fact that they kept that in to actually see his like face like sliding down the machete, pretty rad.
Yeah, and like because obviously it's like a puppet thing. It has motion in its face, like he's squinting and like frowning in pain and grimacing in pain as his face slides down.
Yeah, one of the best shots of the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Trish yells out to Tommy, and basically he hugs her in a loving embrace, but then all of a sudden he looks very serious at the camera, and it appears as if the whole event has traumatized him in some way.
Yeah, a childhood innocence is lost. It's gone.
Right.
He just has this, what do you call it, the 1,000-yard stare or something like that. It's almost like he's not there.
Right. It's very psycho.
Actually, yeah, I didn't think about that, but it is.
Yeah. Wouldn't even harm a fly.
But yeah, so and this isn't spoilers, but this is the birth of the Tommy Jarvis Jason Voorhees rivalry.
It was also what was going to be possibly turning Tommy Jarvis into the new Jason, which didn't happen, thankfully. But as we get into the next movie, we will explain why for people who don't already know. Obviously, though, for this movie, that is the total movie. It cuts the credits. It gets an eerie, looming soundtrack going. As far as you know, Jason is dead. This is the final chapter.
It was supposed to be.
Where it would go, yeah. It's like a Freddy's dead type thing, but we'll get to that too. But it's just one of those things where, yeah, he's dead. But remember when they said that in the first one? Yeah, Jason's dead.
Yeah, but then Jason ends up making them millions and millions of dollars. It's like, oh no, Jason's very much alive. He's fine. Everything's fine.
Wait, let's fix this. But the next movie is very much a Halloween 3 thing, and where it tries to take a new direction that people certainly didn't accept. I actually have a story for it from a horror con I went to, so look forward to that. Rob, what would you rate this movie 1 out of 10?
Out of 10, you got to go with a 9.
A 9?
8 or 9. Because
Damn.
There's no insufferable characters where you're just like, oh my god, I hate this character. There are a lot of great kills. There's stuff that's hilarious. There's boobies. And then, especially when you learn the stuff behind the scenes of what Ted did, it's like 8 or 9.
All right. I'm surprised to hear you say that. Honestly, I thought you were going to give it a lower rating.
The lowest I would go would be like 7.
Oh. I know you, somebody commented, they're like, Rob, just wait until Rob talks about part 4. He's going to hate it or something like that.
I do. I enjoy this movie. Lowest I would give it. Like if I was on a bad mood, would be 7 out of 10. But from the goofiness, the gore, Savini returning, Ted White on screen, the nude twins, 8 or 9 out of 10.
All right. Well, I will not harsh you on that. Like that's perfectly a valid review. In the case of me, I'm going to do everyone the service and say a 10 out of 10 because this is one of the greatest. Yeah, pew 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 pew.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't. I can see it. Yeah, I can see people. There's a reason why the fandom. This is always rated really, really high because it is It's not just a great F-13. It's a great horror movie.
Yeah, but I mean, and this is granted based off the fact that with slasher movies in general and horror, this stuff you can't take too seriously. I mean, horror, especially at this age, it's grown, is what it is. And having grown up with it, I would give it a 10 out of 10 because as far as we're concerned at this point in the franchise, this is the best movie. I mean, I hate to say it. There's nothing wrong with Pamela. There's nothing wrong with the other 2 movies at all.
No.
There's no quality that's lost, in the franchise thus far. In fact, if anything, it's grown.
It has.
It has, and it will continue to grow. In my opinion, but
after one little speed bump, yeah.
Yeah, I actually enjoy the next speed bump, but which we've agreed on.
I think it's a step down, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that, but I want to say that like this is the highest moment of the franchise as far as we've come. Part 4, the final chapter, which wasn't the final chapter.
The
Um,
final but not final chapter.
yeah, 10 out of 10. Great movie from beginning to end. The best teams, the best setup, the best way you could personify Jason.
The
Um,
best dancing.
the best dancing, the best music, the
Oh
best
God.
twins.
Yes.
The best everything, special effects even. And, I just can't say how much more I love this movie. I love it. It's not my favorite in the series, which maybe people will be surprised by, but I am going to not gloss over the fact that at this moment in time in the franchise, it is a 10 out of 10. Rob's crazy. I'm fine with his review, his rating, but he's crazy. It's a 10 out of
Yeah,
10.
well, like I said, if I'm in a bad mood if you talk to me when I'm in a bad mood, it's like 7. But if you talk to me when I'm having a good day, it's 9. If I had to knock anything off of this movie, the only thing that I could think of, and this is really stretching, would be how Mrs. Jarvis just kind of disappears.
That is one of the, yeah.
I
I
mean
mean,
that's a legitimate, I think, complaint, but that's kind of it.
it's an interesting cut though, where they just do because the storm is clashing when she yelps or basically gasps at whatever it is that's in front of her. Of course, it's Jason, but
Right.
it is an interesting cut. It's almost kind of artsy in a way.
Um, and the one thing that we did kind of skip over uh, was that the Jarvises have a dog named Gordon.
Hmm.
Uh, and when they go over to the teens' house and they find all the teens dead, Gordon is with them. And Gordon smells something and goes upstairs, and we don't see what. Obviously, maybe he saw Jason, maybe he found corpses, whatever. But this dog goes, fuck it, and jumps through the second story window and runs away.
Right.
And I'm like, good boy.
Good boy.
Because it's just, I don't know, because, Jason doesn't kill animals. We know that. And they could have gone with something like that if Jason, oh, Jason murdered a puppy or whatever. No, the dog is just like, fuck it. And is so scared of what he finds, he jumps through a second story window.
Yeah. I think
Which
I
is
think
great.
Trish later was like, did you guys find my dog? And they were like, ma'am, we didn't find no good
Find
boy.
no dog. No, shut up. There is, though, when she's in the hospital, there is the country sheriff, the very hick people I'm kind of related to sheriff.
People I'm kind of related to.
Kind of related. Well, see, I mean, obviously you can tell by my accent, obviously Southern, and I was raised in the city by country people, so I got this weird amalgamation accent. But no, I am absolutely related to people that fly the Southern Confederate flag and NASCAR and Yeehaw, and it's awful. I'm so sorry for these people.
Well, Rob, I always say yeehaw every time I'm in bed, but it's usually with a woman.
No, they say Yeehaw when Dale Jr. passes somebody in NASCAR.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Left turn coming. Oh my God. Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll throw that out there right now as the black sheep of the family. I'm very forward thinking, and yeah, I don't have a Confederate flag hanging anywhere in my house.
Yes, neither do I because I'm in Arizona, and while it is close to the south of the border, this is not a place that would be considered a southern state.
No, and like I'm originally from Richmond, capital of the Confederacy, which is not something I'm proud of to say that, but I am proud to say that I'm from Richmond, the home of guar. So I got that.
There you go. And guar being my favorite type of guacamole. Anyway,
Oh
I
my God.
I want to thank
I will
everyone.
walk off this set. I will walk.
If you don't get the guar out of the water,
I will walk off this set. And you good luck finding another 55-year-old 6-foot stunt man.
Yeah, who's done John Wayne horse throbs. Oh my God.
Jeez.
Yeah, no. I want to thank everyone for being here.
Yes,
Obviously,
thank you.
Rob, thankfully, is gonna lead on the next episode. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to lead on that one.
Yeah.
Uh,
That no, I'm interested in doing that because it's an interesting movie altogether.
It is, and I do have a story about actually meeting the cast of that movie. So look forward to that. Please, like, share, and subscribe, and
Yeah,
all
do
the things.
that. Like, comment, subscribe for more Fortnite videos.
Yeah.
No,
Jason
seriously,
skin.
we that'd be awful. But we appreciate anyone that listens to this. We appreciate the shares, the likes, the comments. We don't obviously we're not doing this for money. We do it for fun, and we do it because we're friends.
Yeah, we do. This is a total just. I mean, we're just fapping, having fun.
Yeah.
This is horror has always been near and dear to both of our hearts, and
Hmm.
we're not gonna ever. I mean, as far as I know, we're never gonna stop doing this.
As far as I know, unless one of us dies, I guess.
Yeah, unless Jason kills us. And Rob's got if you want to follow him, we never say this, but on Instagram he goes by Rushfeld Painting. He actually paints miniatures that you can give him a commission for. And I actually do art because I do comic books.
You do
Commission.
sweet ass comic books.
Thank you. You do sweet ass miniatures, and we do have our hobbies, and you can find me on Instagram under Cyberpunk Holiday, and I actually do have a separate YouTube channel under the name Millennial Man, which I'm probably gonna just change to Cyberpunk Holiday at some point. So
It is a good name, Cyberpunk. That's a good one. I like that.
yeah, it was the first comic book I ever wrote.
Oh, let's see. There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, and so if you want to like get extra stuff, you can always just follow us and look forward to that. So, and also we would like questions for the show. So go ahead, yeah, hit that up. We'll put them in a link tree at the bottom of this video, so you know where to go. But as far as I'm concerned, are you good, Rob?
I'm good. 9 out of 10. Let's go to the New Blood.
Yes, New Blood is next. Everyone look forward to that. And then I think we should do a double feature again at some point. I don't think it's going to be 6 or 7, but maybe 9 and 10.
I'd go 8 and 9.
8 and 9?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm cool with that. So people
Okay.
look forward to that double feature 8 and 9. Those will be very sporadic, but in this case,
Yeah.
But thanks for everyone listening.
Thank you.
We'll see you again. And this is Outpost 138. It's cold here.
It is.
Yes.
We're all very tired.
We're all very tired. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, let's just see what happens.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.